Salakaya Chaksurunmilitan Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane. Namaste Sarasati Devi Kauravani Precharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Rath Yatra is one of our major festivals which takes place. Nowadays it happens in many cities around the world. But traditionally the very first Rath Yatra comes from Jagannath Puri in Orissa. And it's what we might call something like a street festival, coming out into the street for a festival. You know, the deities stay in the temple all year. And of course, Jagannath Temple is restricted to Hindus. If you're not Hindu, if you're not born a Hindu, you're not allowed into the temple. And even if you're born a Hindu, if you've lost your Hindu culture, or if you've lost your Hindu caste, you don't get into the temple. Just a minute. But Lord Jagannath is very merciful. Every year, he likes to come out. He likes to give darshan to all of his devotees. And so it's a very wonderful event when the Lord comes out of the temple. And they have, of course, big chariots, Rath. Rath means the chariot, which the vehicle in which the deities are placed. And they're very huge chariots in Jagannath Puri. And we also make a big chariot in our different places. Of course, it varies. Some cities may be smaller chariot, but you know, we do our best according to the time and place. Some places are more restrictive, but we try to celebrate this festival of Rath Yatra. Bringing the deities out into the street gives everyone an opportunity to see Lord Jagannath on his chariot, along with his brother Balarama and his sister Subhadra. So just seeing the deities on their chariot is very powerful, and it gives one a lot of pious credits. So usually at the time when we perform this Rath Yatra, we place the deity on the chariot and we pull the chariots, and at that time the devotees perform Sankirtan, wonderful kirtan, chanting of the holy names, singing and dancing. The devotees feel very happy. I remember Srila Prabhupada coming to London and taking part in Rath Yatra, and usually we would put Prabhupada's Vyasasana on the chariot and tell him, you know, sit here because maybe it's a little far, not convenient for you to walk. But one year, or sometimes, Prabhupada decided to walk. He wouldn't sit on the chariot. He decided, and when the kirtan started, he also started to dance, and it inspired all the devotees. You know, Prabhupada, nearly 80 years old, and he was walking and chanting and dancing with arms in the air. So it was very wonderful, ecstatic event. Maybe you've seen the recordings of that. There are video recordings of Prabhupada taking part in the Rath Yatras. So when Prabhupada came to the West, You know, the devotees, they found the Jagannath deities in a very wonderful manner. One devotee, one lady, Malati, she'd gone to a shop, an Indian import store, and she picked up some dolls. And she brought one of the dolls to show Prabhupada. And when Prabhupada saw it, Prabhupada offered his obeisances. So she was surprised. But he told her, he said, this is Lord Jagannath. This is the form of the Lord of the universe. And he explained to the Malati that this is very auspicious, that you didn't even know this was Lord Krishna, but you brought this form of Lord Krishna here. So this is a sign from Krishna that he wants to be worshipped here. So Prabhupada had Malati's husband, Shyam Sundar, who was a sculptor, to make some big dolls of Jagannath and Baladev and Subhadra. And they installed those deities in San Francisco. So then Prabhupada gave San Francisco Center the name New Jagannath Puri. And then Prabhupada also told the devotees they could have a festival, they could organize a festival. And they did. They had a big festival in the place called Golden Gate Park. And they brought the chariot into the park and they pulled the chariot along by the shore of the ocean. And they organized a big festival there and distributed a lot of prasadam. So these festivals of Rath Yatra, the first ISKCON festival was there in San Francisco, but it wasn't long before it spread to other parts of the world. And today we have festivals going on all over the world, especially in India. They have some very big ones. One devotee was just telling me a few days ago how in India, in the state of Baroda, a state of Gujarat, the city of Baroda, they distribute something like 15 tons of halava. 15 tons, can you imagine? A huge quantity of halava when they have the Rath Yatra procession. Goes on for several hours and huge thousands of people come and take part. Another place where we have a very big Rath Yatra is in Bangladesh, in Dhaka. And many people, many people come and take part. Many Muslims are there, of course, also. They also see the festival. So it's a very powerful event, bringing the deities into the street, pulling the chariot through the streets, and the people see all the devotees. Usually when it's a festival like that, many devotees come, just like you're having the festival in Zurich, but 15 of you are coming from Geneva to go there, and from other parts of Switzerland also, many devotees will be coming. But I heard this year they've got a restriction on the number of people. The police don't want more than 250 people. So 250 people, that's a good crowd. It's a nice crowd. I mean, Switzerland, it's not such a big place. So to get 250 people together is certainly a big crowd there. So I'm sure it will be very wonderful. And 250 not ordinary people, all devotees. And they will all be chanting the holy name, and they'll all be taking part in the festival, helping to pull the chariot and distribute prasadam and give out books to people. So in this way, it's a very wonderful festival. We prepare a lot of prasadam and we distribute it freely to people. And generally people are very receptive. They like very much when they see the devotees, they see the festival, the chariot decorated with flowers, and all the devotees chanting and dancing. So Lord Chaitanya himself used to take part in this Rath Yatra festival. Some 500 years ago, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he resided in Jagannath Puri for about 18 years. And every year, the festival actually just passed, just about 4 or 5 days ago. we celebrated here in Mayapur, and they celebrated also in Jagannath Puri in a restricted way. Due to the COVID virus, the government allowed it, but in a very restricted way, without any big crowds. So Lord Chaitanya, he would take part in the festival every year, and people would come all the way from Mayapur. They'd walk all the way from Mayapur to get to Jagannath Puri just to attend the festival. So man, they were walking for maybe about 2 weeks to get there to Puri to attend this festival. Very wonderful, big festival, thousands of people. So everyone likes to see the Lord of the universe, Lord Jagannath, and his big eyes and smiling face is very attractive. So everyone who takes part in the festival, they get a lot of spiritual credits, and they get a lot of mercy from Lord Jagannath. So certainly, those of you who are going there to Zurich, you're very fortunate. So take advantage, take the opportunity to chant and to dance and to do service and to get the blessings of Lord Jagannath. And with the blessings of Lord Jagannath, then you can come back to Geneva and help to distribute the mercy of Lord Jagannath more here in Geneva. Okay? Any questions about Jagannath Rath Yatra Festival? Anybody? Anybody like?
Yes, I'm going.
Michael is going? Okay. Yeah. Are you going in the morning, coming back at night, or what? You stay for a day or two?
Yes, I'm coming back normally in the evening time. I'll try to take the latest train. If not, I'll come back in the morning the next day or the next afternoon. I'll arrive in my town.
Okay, so we had a festival here in Mayapur, taking the deities around the temple here, and we took the deities to one place, and they'll stay there for a week, and after 1 week we bring the deities back. So we have a return Rath Yatra, because Rath Yatra is taking the deities to one place, we leave the deities there, and then we bring them back after a week. Of course, you won't do that in Zurich. We don't usually do that everywhere. But in some places where it's bigger, where we have more opportunity, like here in India, we do it like that. They have a return Rath Yatra a week later. Both big festivals. Okay, so now we'll go on to Bhagavad Gita.
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
Okay.
Yeah. So should I get the verse on the screen?
Yeah, please.
Okay, Guru Maharaj. Yeah. The same verse or what verse, Prabhu, Guru Maharaj?
Maybe we'll just read the verses from the first chapter.
Okay, Guru Maharaj. It's visible now for everyone?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, this is good.
Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Okay, we'll read the first verse again. Dhritarashtra Uvacha.
Dhritarashtra Uvacha.
Dharma Kshetre Kurukshetre.
धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे
Dhammaveda Yuyutsava
समवेतयुयुत्सवः
Mamaka Pandavaschaiva
मामका पाण्डवश्चैव
Kim Akurvanti Sanjaya.
किम् अकुर्वत सञ्जय.
Okay, now you chant, Maharaji.
Dhritarashtra uvacha धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे समवेदायुयुत्सवः मामका पाण्डवाश्चैव किम् अकुर्वत सञ्जय.
Okay, some more people chant, please.
धृतराष्ट्र उवाच धर्मक्षेत्र कुरुक्षेत्रे समवेतयुयुत्सवा मामका पाण्डवाश्चैव किम् अकुर्वत सञ्जय.
Okay, Michael. Simon, are you there? Simon,
Yes.
Can you chant?
Dhritarashtra uvacha dharmakshetre kurukshetre samaveta yuyutsava mamaka
Can you hear me?
pandavaschaiva kim akurvata sanjaya.
Yes, Guru Maharaj, we are able to hear you. Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj.
Yes, Guru Maharaj's connection is having issue, Mataji.
Again, okay.
You know, what we could do, let's all go on, maybe mute the video, and that might help. If I
Yes,
mute my video, you can also mute your videos, and then we can just hear. Because if,
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Please, all of you mute your videos.
Okay, can everyone hear me?
Yes, Guru Maharaj. It's clear now.
Yes.
Okay, so just to go over the first chapter, I want to explain to you what's happening here in the first chapter. So it begins with Dhritarashtra and Sanjay, and they're not at the battlefield at all. They're in the palace, away from the battlefield, because Dhritarashtra is blind. He's not going to take part. So he's there with his secretary, Sanjay. And Dhritarashtra wants to know what are his sons doing. He wants to know what are his sons and what are the sons of Pandu doing. Are they getting ready to fight? Right? Go ahead, Vaishnavi. Second verse.
Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
second verse. Okay, second verse. Sanjay is replying after Dhritarashtra spoke. Someone can read the verse? Someone can read the verse? Just Sanjay said, English?
Yeah. Yes. Tanmay, do you want to read?
Yes. Sanjaya said, O king, after looking over the army arranged in military formation by the sons of Pandu, King Duryodhana went to his teacher and spoke the following words.
Okay, so Sanjay is going to describe what Duryodhana is going to speak to his teacher. Duryodhana means the son of Dhritarashtra. He's the eldest son of Dhritarashtra. And he's you know, has a big role to play. He's the big enemy of the Pandavas. They were always quarreling and fighting. There was a lot of bitter feeling between Duryodhana and the Pandavas. So go ahead, text number 3. Vaishnavi?
Yes, Guru Maharaj. I put the text number 3 now.
Okay, thank you. Yep. Would you like to read again, Prabhu? Text number 3.
Yes. O my teacher, behold the great army of sons of Pandu, so expertly arranged by your intelligent disciple, the son of Drupada.
Okay. So Duryodhana is speaking to his teacher. His teacher, who, does anybody know the name of his teacher?
Drona?
Dronacharya.
Right. Yes. Dronacharya. Very good. Yeah. So Dronacharya, he was the teacher and he was in charge of the army of Duryodhana. Duryodhana is the main man, but he's got Drona as his leader, as a big fighter. He's a great battler, and he was his teacher. So he's warning him. He said, look at that army of the Pandus, so expertly arranged by your intelligent disciple, the son of Drupada. It's very interesting that he mentions this. The son of Drupada. Anybody know the name?
Drupad?
No, there was Draupadi has a brother, right? Draupadi, there was a brother and a sister. Draupadi and Drishtajumna. Drishtajumna. So Drupada, the king, this man, the son, the Drupada was a king, and he did a sacrifice. He wanted somebody who could kill Drona. You know, he was like that. He did a big yaga because he wanted a son who would kill Drona, because he had a big quarrel with Drona. So Draupadi's son, Drishtajumna, and Draupadi was also born. She was also born from the fire. They didn't take birth normally. They took birth from the sacrificial fire. So this Duryodhana is warning, he's warning Drona, because Drona and Drupada are enemies. So he's warning him, see, the disciple, your disciple, the son of Drupada. It's very interesting because Drona was the teacher of Drishtajumna also. And Drishtajumna, who was the son of Drupada, he was born to kill Drona. He was born to kill Drona, but he came to study under Drona. Drona was such a Brahmana. He was so kind, so charitable that even though Drishtajumna was born to kill him, Drona accepted him as a student and he taught him. So Duryodhana knows all this, and he's reminding Drona, look, you taught him and he's arranged their army. He's your disciple. He arranged the army. Now they're coming to fight you. You have to be very careful. You see, this is the pre-war strategy. Before they go out to battle, you have to fire up. You have to get the army really enthused and get them really in the mood to fight. So Duryodhana is speaking to his soldiers, speaking to his leading fighters, warning them about the dangers. So one of the dangers was this disciple of Drona, who was the son of Drupada. And he was born to kill Drona. So, you know, if you know someone's born to kill you, you naturally be worried about it. Take care of it. Okay, go ahead. Next verse.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Yes, I have displayed 4th verse.
Okay.
Here in this
Yeah.
army are many heroic bowmen, equal in fighting to Bhima and Arjuna. Great fighters like Yudhana, Virata, and Drupada.
Okay, so Duryodhana is pointing out that we've got good fighters. They're equal to Bhima and Arjuna. Of course, Bhima and Arjuna, they're also great fighters. But Duryodhana is saying, we also have good fighters. We have Yuyudhan and Virata and Drupada. So they're also great fighters. So this way, they're getting ready for the war. Go ahead, next verse.
Yeah, 5th verse.
Mm-hmm.
There are also great, heroic, powerful fighters like Drishtaketu, Chekitana, Keshi Raja, Purujit, Kunti Bhoja, and Shaibya.
Okay. So Duryodhana is naming the great warriors who are all there on their side, come to take part in the battle. He wants to encourage his army. He wants them to feel confident, because if they're feeling confident, they'll fight better. Go ahead, next verse.
Yes, 6th verse.
There are the mighty Yudhamanyu, the very powerful Uttamauja, the son of Subhadra, and the sons of Draupadi. All these warriors are great, great chariot fighters.
So different warriors are all being mentioned. Duryodhana said they're all great chariot fighters. So some fighters fight on the ground, but he said these are chariot fighters. It means they're even more powerful. They can be on the chariot, they can be moving and fighting at the same time. They have their chariots with their horses, just like Arjuna. He has Krishna for his chariot driver. So he mentions the names, the sons of Drupada, Draupadi, and the son of Subhadra. Son of Subhadra is Abhimanyu. The sons of Draupadi, 5 sons, each one by each of the Pandavas. And of course, they all get killed during the battle of Kurukshetra. But they're great fighters. They've come to take part in the battle. Go ahead.
Yes,
Text 7.
7th verse.
Yeah.
But for your information, O best of Brahmanas, let me tell you about the captains who are especially qualified to lead my military force.
Oh, best, but for your information, oh, best of the Brahmanas, because Duryodhana is speaking to Drona. Drona's a Brahmana, so he's speaking nicely to him. He's calling him best of the Brahmanas. Let me tell you about the captains who are especially qualified to lead my military force. So he wants to tell Drona everything about the people who are going to back him up, who are going to be there on his side. Important, you go into a battle, you have to feel confident, you have to feel you have a good team and everything, you have a good backup, you have a good support. It's just like in a football match or something, you know, the manager, he has to get the team really enthused so they play really well. So Duryodhana, he's speaking to his soldiers. He wants them to really fight well. Go ahead. Number 8.
Yes, Maharaj.
There are personalities like you, Bhishma, Karna, Kripa, Ashvatthama, Vikarna, and the son of Somadatta called Bhurisrava, who are always victorious in battle.
So Bhishma, Karna, Kripa, Ashvatthama, they're all on the side of Duryodhana. They're all going to back up Drona. Rather, not Drona, but Drona. They're backing up Drona. Drona's son is there. Ashvatthama, he's the son of Drona. grandfather Bhishma, Karna, so many great warriors. This Duryodhana said they're always victorious in battle. So they're great fighters. Go ahead.
Verse 9.
Yeah.
There are many other heroes who are prepared to lay down their lives for my sake. All of them are well equipped with different kinds of weapons, and all are experienced in military science.
So Duryodhana is talking to Drona, he's telling him, we've got so many great warriors on our side. They're ready to sacrifice their life for my sake. And they have great weapons. They have all kinds of weapons and astras. You know, they're not just using swords. They know how to use astras, how to release weapons by mantras. So many different sciences they know. It said they're all experienced in military science. So this is from in the Vedas, it also mentions how to fight wars. Part of the Vedas is there describing how to prepare the army, how to fight, how to defeat the enemy, how to organize the military. It's all in the Vedas. It's a military science. It's the science, part of the Vedic knowledge. Go ahead.
Verse 10.
Yeah.
Our strength is immeasurable, and we are perfectly protected by grandfather Bhishma, whereas the strength of the Pandavas, carefully protected by Bhima, is limited.
Okay, yeah. You see, Duryodhana, he's feeling quite confident. For one reason is they have a bigger army, much bigger army than the Pandavas. So that's one reason why they're very confident. Another reason is they're protected by grandfather Bhishma. So grandfather Bhishma, he's actually a demigod. He's a very powerful personality. And he had a benediction that as long as he wanted to live, he could remain in this world. He would not die. He would not leave the world until he wanted to leave. So it meant he was almost invincible in battle. He was a great warrior, a great Kshatriya, Maharati. But the Pandavas, he said the strength of the Pandavas is limited. You know, they're only 5 people. Duryodhana has his 100 brothers. They're 100. Pandavas are only 5. And Duryodhana had much more people supporting him. Pandavas don't have many people on their side. So this way, Duryodhana is confident that he's going to win. Go ahead.
Verse 11.
Yeah.
All of you must now give full support to grandfather Bhishma as you stand at your respective strategic points of entrance into the phalanx of the army.
So 2 important warriors on the side of Duryodhana. One is Dronacharya, who was their teacher, and the other is their grandfather Bhishma. So they're both great warriors. They know the military arts. They know how to fight. So Duryodhana thinks, we've got these great warriors on our side. I'm sure we're going to win. I'm sure we can defeat the Pandavas. So he was confident like that. Go ahead.
Verse 12.
Yeah.
Then Bhishma, the great valiant grandsire of the Kuru dynasty, the grandfather of the fighters, blew his conch shell very loudly, making a sound like the roar of a lion, giving Duryodhana joy.
So just like we blow our conch shell before and after Arti, so the Kshatriyas, they also had their conch shells, and they would blow their conch shell, indicating, maybe they're indicating their arrival, or indicating they're coming to fight the enemy, like that. So the conch shell was actually a symbol of Vishnu. It's a symbol of victory. We should use it for the service of Krishna. Mhm. Are there any questions so far?
Guru Maharaj, Bhishma, Dronacharya, they are very elevated people, but unfortunately they joined on the side of Duryodhana.
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Because remember Duryodhana and his brothers, they were ruling, and the Pandavas had gone in exile. They'd been away for 12 years, 13 years, living in the forest in exile. So Bhishma and Drona, they had been staying in the palace. They'd been staying in the palace before, and so after the Pandavas went in exile, they continued to stay in the palace. So they stayed there in the company of Duryodhana. So they took shelter in some ways of Duryodhana or Dhritarashtra, because Dhritarashtra was there, their father, a blind father, was there. And so Bhishma and Drona, they both felt comfortable there with Dhritarashtra. They were not so much thinking of the sons, but they were thinking Dhritarashtra, you know, is our friend, and Bhishma and Drona, they were close to Dhritarashtra, and they thought, yeah, we should be here, we'll just stay here. So when the war came about, they had no choice but to take the side of Dhritarashtra, because Dhritarashtra's sons, headed by Duryodhana, they had no choice. They had to be on their side because they're living in their home and they're eating their food. So they're their supporters. So when there's going to be the war, they have to fight for Duryodhana. Although they're actually devotees of Krishna, but they have to fight on the side of Duryodhana. So that's...
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Yeah.
So, and the result is both of them lost their lives, because Krishna wants to show us that if you're on the wrong side, don't expect to be victorious. Don't expect to get any good result. If you join the wrong side, you go against Krishna, you go against the devotees. Bhishma and Drona were against they liked the Pandavas, but they had no choice. They were obliged to fight on the side of Duryodhana. And so the result is both of them, in the course of the battle of Kurukshetra, were killed. But before the battle, Duryodhana never thought that. He thought, oh, they're very powerful, Bhishma, Drona, nobody can defeat them. They're very great fighters. They'll defeat everyone.
So in this case, did they do a mistake of staying with the Dhritarashtra even after the Pandavas left? They should have also left their company, Guru Maharaj.
Well, the family situation being what it was, the family ties, they didn't have much choice.
Yes,
Bhishma he's been there, he's so much older than them. He's their grandfather. You know, he arranged the marriage for Dhritarashtra. He arranged the marriage for Pandu. So Bhishma is very much older. And he'd been living there in the palace all the time. He was always trying to tell Dhritarashtra to be more kind, to help the Pandavas and to give them shelter. So, but Dhritarashtra couldn't accept. He wouldn't listen to Bhishma. So you say Bhishma should have left home. Yeah, he should have, but he's a Kshatriya. Where will he go? Not so easy for him just to go off and leave everything.
Maharaj.
And Drona, he's a Brahmana, but he came there to get a job. He came there to teach the Pandavas and to teach the sons of Dronacharya, the sons of Dhritarashtra, to teach them all how to fight and how to use the weapons and how to do military arts. So Drupada, he's working there. Even though he's a devotee, even though he's a good man, he's on the wrong side. And the result is, if you're on the wrong side, you cannot be successful. If you go against Krishna, then you can never be successful. Okay, we'll just read a few more verses. Text 13. Prabhu.
After that, the conch shells, drums, bugles, trumpets, and horns were all suddenly sounded, and the combined sound was tumultuous.
Okay, so we heard, first of all, Bhishma blew his conch shell, but then Bhima blew his conch shell. And so you can feel, you know, the tension building up, the two sides. So now it's getting ready for battle. So they're all, different people are blowing their conch shells and beating drums and blowing bugles and so many things. Very noisy, a big commotion going on. They're getting ready for a big battle. Go ahead.
Yeah. Verse 14.
Yeah.
On the other side, both Lord Krishna and Arjuna, stationed on a great chariot drawn by white horses, sounded their transcendental conch shells.
So everyone's got their conch shells, and Krishna and Arjuna also, they've got their conch shells. And Krishna and Arjuna, they're on a chariot, special chariot, right? With white horses. Actually, this chariot of Arjuna was given by Agni, the fire god, and it was an indestructible chariot, a very powerful chariot. It was given by Agni, the fire god, it was given to Arjuna. And Arjuna also had other things given to him. People like to give him things. He got some weapons and things he could use. So this chariot given by Agni, very powerful. And the conch shells, the blowing of the conch shells is also a symbol of Vishnu. We know Lord Vishnu carries, he has 4 arms, he has the lotus flower and the Sudarshan chakra and the club and the, one more thing, the lotus flower, the Sudarshan chakra, the club, and the, one more thing.
The sword? Or
Which one?
sword? Sword.
Sword. You mean the chamara?
No. Just a
The club,
Which one?
the weapon, the club.
Oh, the weapon, the club. Okay. Club. Komadaki. Komadaki it's called. Komadaki. There's Padma, Komadaki, Sudarshan, Chakra, and the conch shell. Okay, so the conch shell is a symbol of Vishnu. So when they blew the conch shells, this was actually powerful. This was a sign of victory for the Pandavas, because the conch shell is a symbol of Vishnu. Prabhupada writes in the purport, we can just read from there. Therefore, victory and fortune were awaiting Arjuna, as indicated by the transcendental sound produced by the conch shell of Vishnu or Lord Krishna. Besides that, the chariot on which both the friends were seated had been donated by Agni, the fire god, to Arjuna. And this indicated that the chariot was capable of conquering all sides wherever it was drawn over the three worlds. It's very powerful. And earlier in the purport, it talks about how Lord Krishna is there on the side of Arjuna. So along with Lord Krishna, there's also the goddess of fortune. So the goddess of fortune creates good luck for the Pandavas. All mentioned in this purport there, like that. The sounding of the conch shell, that there was no hope of victory for the other side because Krishna was on the side of the Pandavas. Victory is always with persons like the sons of Pandu because Lord Krishna is associated with them. And whenever and wherever the Lord is present, the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, is also there because the goddess of fortune never lives alone without her husband, right? Okay. How many verses have we done now?
14 verses.
Okay, one more verse.
Okay, 15.
Okay, someone read.
Lord Krishna blew his conch shell, called Panchajanya. Arjuna blew his, the Devdatta, and Bhima, the voracious eater and performer of Herculean tasks, blew his terrific conch shell, called Pondra.
Yeah. So you can feel the drama mounting as the two sides prepare for battle. Lord Krishna has his conch shell. Lord Krishna is the chariot driver, of course, but he's also the Supreme Lord. So he has a very special conch shell, Panchajanya. Arjuna has his conch shell, Devadatta, and Bhima also has a conch shell. This is called Pondra. So in this way, you can see that how the nature of the warfare, how they were very organized. Each person had a conch shell to blow, to create some auspicious sound. We want to create this kind of spiritual culture in society. You see, every home they should keep conch shells, and when they do arti, they can blow the conch shell. So there were signs of victory for the Pandavas. One of the signs of victory was the conch shells, because that's a symbol of Vishnu. Another sign of victory was that Lord Krishna was on the side of Arjuna, and Lord Krishna is the consort of the goddess of fortune. So if you're always with Lord Krishna, then you'll be protected from the material miseries of life, to some extent. Another sign of victory, the battle is taking place at Kurukshetra, and Kurukshetra is a holy place. So this will be very good for the Pandavas, right? So you've got Kurukshetra, you've got the goddess of fortune, you've got the conch shells, you've got Krishna driving Arjuna's. One more, you've got Hanuman on the flag of Arjuna. Hanuman was a hero when Lord Ramachandra fought the demon Ravan. So Arjuna puts Hanuman on his flag on the chariot, and he prays to Hanuman, just as you fought for Lord Rama, let me fight here for Lord Krishna. So those 5 signs are mentioned. Those 5 facts indicate victory for the Pandavas, that they will conquer and win the battle. Okay, so this is what's going on so far in the first chapter. We're hearing the battle scene and the arrangement. Duryodhana is hoping that they can be victorious, but he's in for a disappointment actually, because everything's going to go against him. Because he doesn't have Krishna on his side, because he didn't want Krishna, he was against Krishna. He didn't want to be a devotee. Okay, Hare Krishna. Any questions there? Okay, Vaishnavi.
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
I think,
Any questions for anyone? Vijay Prabhu? Okay. Yes, Guru Maharaj.
what do you want to do now? Do you want to have, will we chant one round of japa, or do you want to do kirtan?
Yes, one round of japa with you, Guru Maharaj.
Really? You'd like
Yeah.
to do one round of japa with me?
Yes,
Okay.
Guru Maharaj.
We'd like to encourage all of you, when you go to Radhayatra, you have to travel to Zurich. So on the way to Zurich, chant the holy name, do more japa. It will take several hours to get there, I think, right? 3 or 4 hours to Zurich, is it?
Yes, Guru Maharaj. 3 hours na, minimum 3 hours.
Minimum 3 hours. So
Yeah.
good for you. Good for everybody going to Zurich. You have to chant 16 rounds, at least that day. You're going
Okay.
for Rath Yatra. Everyone has to chant 16 rounds. You sit in the car and you chant. Be very good.
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
You'll feel the spiritual potency, then you'll appreciate more Rath Yatra. All right, we'll chant japa one round. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Srivasa De Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. So Vaishnavi.
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
So next Saturday you're going to Next Saturday you'll be in Zurich.
No, Guru Maharaj. I think it's falling on a. Just a minute. I'll check the calendar. It's falling on a Sunday. Just a minute, Guru Maharaj. Yeah, July 5th. Is falling on a Sunday, Guru Maharaj. So yeah, I'll be here.
You'll be here next
Yes,
Saturday.
yeah. Yes, Guru Maharaj. We will be
Okay.
all here. We are starting on Sunday morning and then coming back on the same evening. Most of us, maybe some of them will stay there.
Okay, good. Traffic wouldn't be too bad on Sunday. Should be better, easier for traveling.
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
Okay. All right, so I'll finish here and I hope to see you next week.
Thank you, Guru
Okay.
Maharaj. See you next
We-
week.
We encourage everyone, please read over the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Read over the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. If you have any questions, we can discuss. It'd be very good.
We
Okay,
should read
thank you very much.
First, Guru Maharaj, or we should read the whole chapter.
Yeah, read the whole chapter.
Okay.
Read the
Okay.
whole chapter. And see
Yeah.
if there's any questions. Okay, thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Thank you.
Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
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 Right. Thank you very much, Guru Maharaj.
Thank you.
Thank you.